Hey, yeah, you. Take a breath. I mean it. Right here, right now, just breathe. Close the tabs in your brain. Drop your shoulders. Let go of that invisible list you're carrying around in your chest. You're safe here. You're not behind. You don't need to be proving anything right now. Because I have something important to tell you. And no, it's not a rah-rah speech about hustling harder. It's not another call to wake up at 4 a.m. and win the day. It's the opposite of that. This is about something your soul has been whispering for a while now. You ready? You need to rest. And I don't mean sleep more someday. I mean really rest. The kind of rest that doesn't just get you through tomorrow, but makes you dangerous again. Dangerous to burnout, to fear, to shame, to the lie that your worth is measured in output. You didn't choose this pace, not exactly. You adapted to it. Somewhere between school bells and job promotions, you were handed a story. Maybe they didn't say it directly, but it was in the air you breathed. If you stop moving, you fall behind. So you started running. And at first, it felt powerful. You got things done. You checked the boxes. You got praise. You became someone people relied on. But somewhere along the way, rest became suspicious. You couldn't just sit still anymore. You felt like you had to earn stillness. Even when you were lying down, your mind was racing. It started feeling like rest was laziness in disguise. But that was never true. That's a lie sold by a culture addicted to motion. And you're allowed to unsubscribe. You weren't born to perform. You were born to be. To feel the sun on your face without guilt. To listen to silence without panic. To slow down without shame. Let's be honest. What you call rest isn't really rest. It's laying in bed while scrolling through other people's lives. It's watching 5 episodes of a show you're not even enjoying. It's eating dinner in front of your inbox. It's pretending to sleep while your brain replays every conversation you had in the last 5 years. That's not rest. That's a soft panic in sweatpants. That's your brain trying to shut off and you not letting it. That's sedation, not restoration. Numbing, not healing. You deserve more than sedation. You deserve restoration. Real rest is deliberate. It's protective. It's quiet without being empty, still without being stagnant. It may not look impressive on the outside, but inside, entire worlds are being rebuilt. Let me tell you something you've probably felt in your bones before. You don't need more productivity. You need to lie fallow for a while. You need to feel the difference between pushing through and letting go, between coping and restoring, between surviving and returning to life. You may not look busy on the outside, but rest is deeply productive. It's soul productive, and that matters. You sleep. You cancel plans. You even take a vacation now and then. So why are you still tired? Because your exhaustion isn't just physical. It's mental, emotional, spiritual. It's the weight of being on all the time, of performing, of staying vigilant. You're tired because you're constantly negotiating with a world that asks you to do more than is sustainable and punishes you when you say no. You're tired because even when you're not working, you're thinking about work, or bills, or others' expectations, or whether you're enough. You're tired because you've been carrying the emotional weight of 10 people while pretending you're just a little busy. And you're tired because you keep telling yourself you'll rest when the list is done, when things calm down, when it's the weekend, when you've earned it. But friend, the list doesn't end, and the weekend still finds a way to fill itself up. You can't wait for permission. You have to claim it. Let's talk biology for a moment. Your nervous system has 2 major settings, sympathetic and parasympathetic. The first is for emergencies. The second is for healing. But you're living in fight or flight. All the time. Your body thinks you're running from tigers when you're just replying to emails or stuck in traffic. That tension in your shoulders, that tightness in your chest, that's your body sounding the alarm. Rest isn't just good for your mind, it's essential for your health. Chronic stress suppresses your immune system, clouds your memory, messes with your hormones, and shortens your lifespan. This isn't woo-woo, it's neuroscience. So when you rest, you're not being lazy. You're choosing long-term wellness over short-term busyness. You're literally rewiring your brain for resilience. Want to know a secret? You don't need a radical overhaul to start resting well. You just need a few sacred pauses that bring you back to yourself. When you make your morning coffee or tea, do it slowly. Let it be a moment of intention, not autopilot. Set an alarm on your phone that simply says, breathe. When it rings, close your eyes, drop your shoulders, and take 3 deep breaths. Choose a time when the sun begins to set. And let that be your cue to shut off your screens. Before your head hits the pillow, whisper one thing you're grateful for, even if it's just making it through the day. Small rituals like these send signals to your nervous system. You're safe now. You can rest. You know this version of you. Maybe it's been a while, but you've met them. Rested you's funny again. Patient, curious, creative. Rested you listens better, sleeps deeper, feels more, judges less. Rested you doesn't just do better. Rested you is better, not because you're achieving more, but because you're finally aligned, present, alive. You walk differently when your soul isn't limping. You speak differently when your nervous system isn't screaming. You love differently when you're not running on fumes. People notice rested you. They can feel the difference in your presence, your clarity, your calm. And most importantly, you notice. You start to recognize yourself again. You're not lazy for needing rest. You're wise. You're finally learning that your body is a messenger, not a machine. That your worth doesn't decrease when you slow down. That your value isn't determined by how many balls you juggle. You're choosing long-term sustainability over short-term approval. You're trusting that what's meant for you won't pass you by because you paused. That's not lazy. That's revolutionary. And every time you rest, every time you say, I need a moment, every time you refuse to glorify burnout, you teach your body a new truth. I am allowed to be well. So here it is. Your invitation to stop, to pause, to close the laptop, to lie on the floor, to do nothing and let that be everything. To look out the window and remember that the world spins even when you don't. To trust that your healing isn't found in a breakthrough, but in a slow return to yourself. To rest like your power depends on it, because it does. The you who comes back from this, they're not weaker. They're stronger in all the ways that matter. So go ahead. Put down the weight. Put your hand on your chest. Feel that rhythm. That's your life. And it's asking you to rest. Let's imagine something together. You wake up not to a blaring alarm, but to soft morning light slipping through the curtains. Your body doesn't ache with dread. It simply rises, aware, but not rushed. There's no phone in your hand before your feet touch the floor. No inbox demanding your spirit before the day even begins. You stretch, you breathe. You feel your presence settle into your body. Breakfast isn't an afterthought. It's a quiet celebration. Maybe it's toast, maybe just water and stillness. You don't rush it. You let the morning be sacred. Work comes, but it doesn't consume you. You have boundaries now. You no longer trade your well-being for productivity. You take breaks, real ones. You eat without multitasking. You go outside. In conversation, you listen. In challenges, you pause. You don't react from panic. You respond from presence. You laugh without guilt. You rest without needing a reason. You say no, and it feels like alignment, not rebellion. And at the end of the day, you're not collapsing. You're closing a chapter. You're already enough. This is possible. Maybe not every day, but more than you think. And it starts with rest. Let's be real. This world isn't designed to support your rest. It glorifies the grind. It sells you wellness while demanding your burnout. But you're opting out. You're daring to believe that slowness is not the enemy of greatness, that joy isn't earned through exhaustion, that peace is your birthright, not a reward. You're not waiting for the world to give you space. You're creating it. You're carving out silence in a noisy age. You're reclaiming rhythm in a world built on rush. It's not easy. You'll feel resistance. You'll question yourself. But stay the course. Every time you rest, you plant a seed in your life that says, I matter. I am enough without doing more. You are not behind. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You are tired, and you're learning how to come home to yourself again. That is holy work. So rest, not later, now. Because the version of you that rises from rest, that version doesn't just survive the chaos. That version builds a better world.